All right, so I'm gonna do a little bit of repeating just to kind of catch us up, and then we'll get into some new stuff. So what is the economic problem? Scarcity. Yeah, right? We're always dealing with it. Matter of fact, who in here did not get enough sleep last night? It's scarce. We're always trying to find, right? And then there's a commercial out right now where it's a TikTok, I think, where someone's like, I slept for 4 hours last night, now I'm exhausted. And then the other person says, I slept for 12 hours last night, and I'm exhausted too. Yeah. I mean, we're always struggling, right, to find that balance. Good. All right. So we have the economic problem. Why do we have this problem? Let me rephrase. What does this problem force us to do every single day of our lives? Yes, sir.
Make choices.
Make choices, right? Our lives are filled with them. Do I go to school today? Do I sleep? Do I try to convince my mom and dad to call me in sick today? All right. I got a test today. Oh man, I got to study. No, I didn't have time to study. I have to go to work, or I have to finish this paper. Last night for me, I actually had some great, like the vocab, other classes to do, and I had some other documentation to work on for my business. And of course, I get to that point where I'm just absolutely exhausted, and my thought process is, do I go out, give myself some energy drinks, and finish this up, or do I just go get some sleep because I need to get some sleep? I defaulted to sleep, right? So we prioritize. Time is a huge one, so we're always making choices, right? We dealt with entrepreneurs, developing ideas, creating this economy, making things get newer, better, hiring people, spurring on economic growth, right? The more new businesses we see, the better the economy is doing, which is why as restaurants have been closing over the past 4 or 5 months, that's not a good thing, right? If anyone knows anybody who has a business who's closed over the last, 8 months now, that's not good for the economy, because now I have to fire people. If I own that business, I have to pay for the rent. I still got to pay for all the equipment with money I don't have. And then the government gives us $600 and goes, here, this should fix everything, right? We run into issues with all those things, right? So the entrepreneurs, really, we need those people creating and developing new stuff. We talked about natural resources, right? These are just a couple of examples that I come up with. Things that we get from nature that we haven't altered, right? That's the biggest issue. We haven't changed them. We just take them from nature. This is what we can get. Then we got into labor. We had gotten through a lot of these choices. Did we get through all of them? I think we got through the sleeping, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we got through.
Yeah. So we have the professional sleeper, which is, that would be awesome. Netflix Tagger, Google Trike, and that was my favorite. I think that's one of my favorites, the pickup artist instructor. Right? You actually pay somebody to do that. So I've got a couple of videos that go over a couple of different variations or different industries that are out there. So let's just enjoy a couple of these. This one is the most disgusting job that I found. If it comes up.
This tannery is infamous as the foulest smelling place in all of Fez, Morocco. Tanning hides may be dirty and smelly work, but somebody has to do it. Every day, 17-year-old Mohsin must wind his way through the ancient alleyways of Fez. He is following in the footsteps of the countless generations who have labored before him in his 600-year-old tannery.
I knew about the smell because before dropping out of school, I used to come help my father in the tannery. My first time here, the smell was terrible. I felt like I was suffocating. I couldn't bear it. But after a while, I no longer noticed it at all.
After just 3 years here, Mohsin's tenure has been relatively brief, but his father, Abdel, has been breathing in the tannery stench for more than 3 decades. Each delivery of skins fresh from the slaughter means the start of a stinking, wet, filthy process. Of all the foul tasks Mohsin must do, few are worse than washing the animal skins. And there's no other way to do it than to climb right into the tub, a fetid sewer of animal hides, flesh, hair, and bacteria. Exposure to the filth makes Mosine and his coworkers more susceptible to infections, particularly if they were to have any open sores or cuts. While Mosine rinses his lamb skins, others prepare cowhides for tanning, scraping their leftovers into the same near-stagnant pool. Nothing about this job is for the faint of heart, but Mosine has learned to appreciate its benefits.
My friends who work in other professions tell me that my job is good because I can take a swim in the water in the summer. It's not like other jobs, such as working for a shoemaker, where you have to stay in the same place all day long.
The reward for carrying on this unappealing job brings beginning tanners just $2 a day, and very experienced ones about $5. Much of the tannery's odor comes from its potent and pungent secret ingredient, pigeon droppings. Mosine gathers the droppings from the rooftops of Fez. Finney's ready for the dirtiest and smelliest job of all, wading into a vat of excrement. The stench is overpowering, but Mosine must keep his head and be sure to add just the right amount of water to the pigeon droppings. The perfect mix will help make the skin supple, but not too soft.
Pigeon droppings have a burning quality, so when you put it on the skin, it bites into it and softens it. And then the skin becomes like a piece of cloth.
But to transform these raw hides into leather cloth requires Mosine to get down and dirty. Shoeless, he can use his toes and heels to knead the skins over and over. For almost 3 hours, he tromps around the vat. Even apart from the smell, it's a difficult chore, requiring strength and endurance. Finally, the skins are soft enough to please the expert, his father, Abdel.
This is a very good job. It's beautiful. My son made this.
It's a product to be proud of, and few who end up wearing this leather on their feet will ever know that it was crafted in one of the foulest smelling places on earth.
All right, so just a job that really does exist out there. All right, this one, you guys may have seen a version of this. This is an older version. There's an updated version of this, but this one's better than the newer version. So that's why I showed this. Anybody seen this one? Okay, good.
Getting to work can be a chore, especially if your workplace is 1,700 feet straight up. That's the commute for people that work on transmission lines and antennas in the world of broadcasting. This video shows what it's like to climb to the top of a 1,768-foot tower just to begin your workday. It all starts with an elevator ride to about 1,600 feet. After that, it's all about climbing. Of course, you have to bring all your tools with you. That's the red bag hanging below. It weighs about 30 pounds, and you pull it up behind you all the way to the top. It's a lot like a spacewalk, where you have to remember to bring everything you're going to need, because it's a long way down. Once you reach the top of the tower itself, it's time to go outside.
Anybody afraid of heights in here? I have an issue. If you guys get like motion sickness, put your head down for a little bit, close your eyes, and then jump back in. Oh, darn it. Okay, I'll get it.
With an elevator ride to the top, because it's a long way down.
Wait a minute.
Once you reach the top of the tower itself, it's time to go outside. This is the pole that the antenna is mounted on top of. It's just there for extra height. This is called free climbing, meaning that no safety lines are used. It's easier, faster, and most tower workers climb this way. It's good to take a break and look around while you rest. Free climbing is more dangerous, of course, but OSHA rules do allow for it. Climbing, attaching, and removing safety lines every few feet slows progress and is tiring. Here you can see an electrical junction box for the tower lights. Inside the cage, you can now see the transmission line that feeds the transmitter power to the antenna. This section is the antenna tuner. It's shaped like this to allow for the expansion and contraction of the transmission line on its 1,700-foot run to the top. These spiky flowers on their long stems are used to attract electrical charges in the air. This helps to dissipate the charges before they build up to create a lightning strike. Now we've reached the base of the antenna. From here, it's just another 60 feet to the top.
Nothing major.
His climbing partner is now holding the tool bed to keep it from swinging and knocking him off balance. Time for another break. Seeing storm clouds, he checks on the lightning conditions. If a storm's blowing through, there's no quick way down.
Well, that's not true. There's one quick way down.
The top is in sight, and time for another break before transitioning to the top. At this height, you can see 55 miles to the horizon. This is the tricky part,
Yeah,
getting on top.
this part's the tricky part. All the other stuff, that was easy. Watch his hands. See if you guys notice what I've caught over the years.
That object with the black top is the lighting beacon.
Watch his hands. Lauren, your eyes just like really, really big. You guys catch you like completely let go.
And that's how you climb to the top of a transmission tower.
There's no way. So I looked up the pay and how this all works. Does anybody know anyone who's a tower maintenance person? They actually have rotations. So if you guys were like on my crew and we had to go fix some lights, they would send us all out for like a 3-week period, and we would work on these 20 towers, right? And then we would have to maintain, we have to change the light bulb. Like that was the changing of the light bulb. Change the light bulb, repair some stuff, fix a couple things here and there. The willingness to go higher increases your salary. So if you're like you guys have seen the lower ones that are around the area that are just like your power lines, the basic ones that are maybe a couple hundred feet, that's like 25, 30,000 a year, because there's really no risk. And a lot of the ones I've seen that are the smaller ones, you hook in and you can walk with it. It like kind of slides with you and has like a hooking mechanism. So it's a little safer. The higher you go, the lowest salary I saw for those tall ones was $60,000, $65,000. A lot of the companies too, the perks that I saw, they give you like a company truck, so you get that. So there's some perks in there, and then a really, really good life insurance policy. All right. Let's see. There's another couple I found.
So they climbed up that whole tower to change a light bulb.
Yep. All right. Now this one, this is probably the second best job I found. The one that's next is my favorite all-time job. Enjoy this one.
One more bite for Tamara.
One more bite, coffee fudge.
My name is Eric Fredette. I'm a Ben & Jerry's flavor guru, and I have the best job in the whole world. I was working previously at the manufacturer of cookie dough pieces for cookie dough ice cream. So I had met the entire team here. And then when a position opened up, I called and said, hey, let's make ice cream. Everyone asks the same question when you tell them that you make ice cream for a living. Which flavors do you make, and where is it? Do you have some in the freezer right now? And I don't usually, so I go to the grocery store and I look in the freezer case and I go, that one's mine, that one's mine, that one's mine, that one's mine. Rockin' Blondies, peanut butter half baked, things and popcorn, PB&J, I thought was amazing. People didn't get it. The brownie batter core was fine. And chocolate therapy, if you like chocolate, that is your flavor. I'm in trouble all the time when friends come over and there's no ice cream. So, a typical day, first thing in the morning, 9 a.m., you are sitting in the cutting room, tasting ice cream, no coffee. You want to clean out for that. Some mornings, very early, you could be on the factory floor testing something new or making a new item for the first time. Then usually...
The other thing I've seen with ice cream taste testers is they also will take random samplings off of the belt and they cut them in half to see if everything's dispersed correctly throughout because sometimes it'll settle to the bottom, will be on the top. So another little
coffee, getting ingredients out, setting up machines, and then usually afternoons back to either meetings or I usually like to make ice cream in the afternoon.
All right, we're gonna get some mix and we're gonna get started. So today we have this awesome breakfast stout. We're gonna add enough to flavor the mix. I would like a little more beer flavor. So we're gonna use this bourbon barrel aged maple syrup. this is the point of no return. Once the ice cream is out, we can't put it back in. It's nice to come in and be able to make something that no one potentially will ever see. It's the best moment ever. I don't tell people what I'm working on. I don't even tell my wife what I'm working on because she's been known to spill the beans at gatherings. So I just don't tell her anymore. I bring home all the new stuff, and it's like a surprise when I bring it home. So it's much better that way.
And it just kind of goes into the stores and stuff like that. But there's other ones too. There's one that's another version of this, but wine taste testers, beer taste testers, and you actually can get a degree in flavor. I can't remember exactly the name of it, but there are degrees you can get dealing with that. Not just ice cream, but just learning how to take flavors in. There's one I heard of. The deodorant companies actually hire people to smell armpits before deodorant and after deodorant. And they have variations of what they'll do where they'll have someone work out. So they have to have someone who can like really smell things very, very well. And then the last one, this is, in my opinion, the most genius, smartest, and easiest amount of I'll just let it speak for itself. There's a part of me that every once in a while you see stuff and you're like, why did I not think of this?
My name is Robert Samuel. I own a professional line city company called Same Old Line Dudes here in New York City. Same Old Line Dudes started by accident when the iPhone 5S came out. I put an ad on Craigslist.
Did you guys see that? 14,000 in one day. One day. 14,000.
Same Old Line Dudes started by accident when the iPhone 5S came out. I put an ad on Craigslist and offered to wait for somebody's phone. Ended up selling my spot, got on again, sold a couple more spots, and paid $325. And the rest is history. Hey, what's up? How's it going? I have friends I want to.
2,000 a week. How many weeks in a year? 52. So $100,000, $104,000 on average. Average. We're not talking like high-end weeks or high-end time slots.
That can help me. I have people that I meet on the street who are really excited. Oh my God, you stand in line with people and you get paid for sleeping on the street? I want to do that. The most popular thing that Line Dudes is waiting for, dough, cookie dough. Hamilton is huge. The majority of our customers tend to be from out of town. We perform, an invaluable service, especially for tourists who want to see the city that they're visiting. I've seen Hamilton 7.5 times. We have pictures on our Twitter feed of people hugging and squeezing the life out of us because we got the Hamilton city. I delivered cronuts to Baltimore now. The customer paid for both bus, 3.5 hours each way. We delivered cookie dough via Amtrak to Providence, Rhode Island. I love it. I love it. There's a beauty in being your own boss. If I want to work, if I want to go out and do a line to make extra money, then I can go do it. If I don't, and I want to share the love for pricing, then I can go do that. Waiting in line, I hold it in high regard. Number one now for me because it's very profitable. I didn't have a problem with it because I have the patience of Job. You bring a book, you have your phone, it has tons of apps, you have music. You want to be friendly with people because they're like your line family. And I like to think of myself as a very friendly and talkative person, so I'm not going to be bored for very long.
Just, again, genius. Just like a part of me. Every time I watch this, I just kick myself because I think, why did I not think of that? Yeah. Yep. All right, guys.